Hey everybody, welcome to Geek Addicts.
Hello and welcome to Geek Addicts, the pop culture podcast where we face all of our well-known villains, only for the least effective villain to be the one behind it all. My name is Matt. With me, Bill Barber. How's it going, Bill?
I was wondering what you were going to take from that ending.
Yeah,
we'll get to it. We'll get to it, but I was like, I forgot how.
Not what I was expecting. Not what I was expecting.
Not what anyone was expecting, to be honest.
The two fake out endings, I think, would have been more effective, but okay.
We'll get into it. I have things to say about our topic for this week, but how you been, Matt? It's been a week, and these last few days have just been hell.
Yeah, it's been a whole lot of fucking running in and out of stores, trying to prepare. For context, it is snowing, and it's gonna be snowing. It's gonna snow a lot.
Yeah, for context,
first big snow we've had in a very long time.
For context, when this is being recorded, because it's going to be a few weeks off, this was in the middle of January when Snowmageddon happened, and you heard about it from everybody, which is always funny that New Englanders seem to be the ones that bitch the most, even though we should realistically be the ones that are prepared for this shit.
Yeah, we're the most used to it. Although not so much lately. Like the past 10 years or so, it hasn't really been much snow-wise.
It hasn't been much snow-wise, but we're still used to the cold and just how everything goes. We should be prepared for this shit, but people are so fucking stupid. I swear to God.
Tell me about
it. I saw someone order me and Alex on Friday night. We went out to get a dinner, but then Alex needed to pick a few things up, so we said fuck it, we just went to a store. People, man. I saw full carts loaded with perishables. I'm like, what are you doing? Right? You do understand how this works, right?
We were buying cans and shit and frozen stuff because at least if the power goes out, you can throw the bags of frozen vegetables outside and they'll be fine,
Yeah. No, I was just looking. I'm like, what are we doing? People, come on.
Yeah.
It's that goddamn bread and milk video every year.
Yeah. We got canned bread. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a thing. I always forget it is.
Yeah, brown bread. Brown bread and beans. That's breakfast of champions right there.
Canned bread and Spam. That's when you know you're living.
We were debating whether or not to grab Spam, but we decided against it.
But yeah, it's winter right now. People be stupid.
Yep.
I'm just I woke up this morning, I looked at the windows, looked outside, and went, "Great, all right," and then just moved on with my day.
At least you got plenty of video games to keep yourself busy.
Unless the power goes out, then I don't know what I'm doing. Then I'm reading a book, I guess.
You don't have a Jenny?
Not technically because of how the condos are set up, but
fair. Yeah, well, you also have plenty of reading material, so.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried. I'll have things to do. It's more just it's never fun. It's never fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got big news yesterday.
Yeah, we did. 3 pieces of news. Assuming we're talking about the same thing. And I'm very excited about some of it, less so for the other part, although it is still pretty cool that it's happening. Well, first of all, we'll get the small potatoes out of the way. We are, in fact, it turns out the rumors have been true. We are, in fact, getting remakes of Dragon Ball Super. Although it's not going to be a total, 100% remake because a lot of it is like they're still going to be using some scenes from the original, like where they actually like bothered to use good animation. And it's going to be like a seasonal situation. Like apparently the Battle of Gods or whatever, what they're calling Dragon Ball Super Beerus, I guess is what they're calling it. It's only going to be like 6 episodes, I guess. So
yeah, I saw that. I was kind of like, my entire thoughts on that was like, do we need this? Like I was very
no, we don't. But apparently Toriyama did himself work on it, so some of the changes are going to have some of that Toriyama tinge to it. So, I mean,
Yeah.
And to be honest, Toriyama himself was really disappointed by the beginning of the Super anime. So, them kind of like going back and fixing it, because I mean, let's be real, the first like 40 episodes of the Super anime are not great.
No, my only thing with the whole Beerus thing is the fact that like we had the movie already. Like it's already been redone once. Like, do we really?
This will be the 4th version of Battle Gods we've had.
Yeah, I'm just like, sure, why not? I like Battle of Gods. I just don't think we need it again. But I will say the other news we got made me a lot less upset about this.
Yes, well, I think that's going to be like how it leads into it because I don't think they officially announced it, but it has essentially been confirmed that when they finish the Super Beerus thing, they're going to be moving straight into Resurrection F. So I think they're going to work their way through the series. I don't know if they're going to do Tournament of Power the way that they did it, are doing the early ones, but I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
No, I'd be curious if they did the manga versions of like say like Goku Black and like Tournament of Power.
It would be interesting, but I'm wondering, like, are we just going to have like, because I don't think we're going to get the Moro stuff. Oh, that was the other thing. We're getting Moro in the anime finally.
Yeah, they're finally going beyond Brawly. Thank God.
But I don't know if that's going to be an extension of like the new like remake stuff. Like if they're going to go through all the old arcs and then do that, or if it's going to be we're going to have this like remake version and then the Moro arc is going to continue the old version. I don't know how they're going to handle that.
Well, that's why I wonder if they're going to like adapt the manga versions so it'll seem better because looking back at it, going straight from like the end of like Super anime to like manga, it's kind of jarring a little bit.
Yeah. And there have also been, I don't know how accurate this is, but there have been rumors that part of the reason they wanted to do the remake thing in the first place is because they wanted to kind of like implement Daima stuff into it. So
I'm not
maybe
sure how I feel about that.
Maybe Vegeta will have Super Saiyan 3 in this version. You know?
I'm not sure I'm 100% on that just because I like Daima as its own thing.
I do too. But them trying to kind of like find a way to take all the different series and make them part of the same whole. I can understand them wanting to do that just to keep it consistent.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's one of those things where I'm kind of like, this is getting way too complicated for future, like for people who watch this like years down the line. It's gonna be like one of those things where they come in and they're like, what the, like it starts out so normal and then it's just like a fucking clusterfuck of like, what the fuck am I supposed to watch?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just kind of to be expected, honestly. And I mean, it's not like this is the only property that has had that kind of issue before. I mean, it's the same thing. Like anybody who gets into like the MCU now or the CW verse now, like they had to have that issue too, where they got to look up watch orders and shit to figure out how to do it.
Yeah, I think it's more just with me. Like Dragon Ball was such a seamless, like easy to follow series before this.
Yeah. But I'm sure there will be like a streamlined, like yeah, this other stuff will exist over here. But like if they want to make like a streamlined, like okay, this is Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Daima, Dragon Ball Super, and they all flow together correctly with like the new remakes and such, then I'm not opposed to there being that just to have like a easy to follow A to B. Like yeah, we have the old Super over here and GT over here, but like those are separate things. You know, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that. It's one of those things where I'm just kind of like, well, I trust them, but we'll have to wait till it comes out.
Yeah. Well, the fact that Toriyama did work on these before he passed does give me some hope that it will be okay.
The only thing that's gonna get me is I'm gonna be so because it's not only gonna be we're gonna have to wait through the redo stuff, which I'm sure will be fine, but that waiting for the new stuff is gonna be like the hardest.
Yeah. Well, apparently the Super Beerus, we're gonna be getting that in October, apparently. So not too bad of a wait.
We are gonna be delayed on dubbing, probably. So
we'll see how much. I mean, Daima wasn't that much of a wait. It was like 6 weeks.
Yeah. How the wait is.
There's no set in stone release date for the Moro stuff, but I don't think we're going to see it any sooner than next year.
I just want to see Moro because I hope they do it justice. That and eventually Granola, because we need the alter ego like animated. We need Vegeta. Shit.
From what I understand, the way it seems is that Super is going to adopt a seasonal release schedule, which is honestly what Super should have been doing in the first place.
That's just what they're doing with like every series now, because like they just ended One Piece's first season.
Yeah, that was stupid.
At that point, I was just like, might as well have just. When I heard that, I was like, just keep it going at this point. Like, why are you going to convolute it now?
Yeah, like all these people being like, "Oh, it'll help with pacing." It's like, no, it won't, because you still have to get to 1,200 episodes before you get to good pacing. Like that doesn't help.
Even then, look, One Piece. I'm not shitting on it, but it is a to get into One Piece, you need a lot of like time and like dedication and like. I get it. It gets good at like episode 300, but I just don't have time for that right now.
Yeah. Well, that's why they're doing the remake thing, which honestly I'm totally on board for. And like honestly, they should have just kept that as like this is our seasonal version, and then we have over here the original version, which is just a lot.
See, they
like,
should.
Why
at this
bother
point,
trying to change it now?
Yeah, they should have just grandfathered in One Piece. It's just like this one gets to be the ultra long fucking whatever. We don't need to seasonalize this, and we'll just make all series going forward seasonal. But like, I don't know. I guess One Piece season 2 after like 30 years.
I mean, they're kind of doing the same thing with Black Clover right now too, aren't they? Like,
well,
Black Clover's like 200 episodes, and they're like, "Hey, we're doing season 2 now."
Yeah, but Black Clover had been gone for a while, so that one makes more sense. This is like a series that's been One Piece has been going for like 30 years, and it's like, oh yeah, season 2. I'm like,
yeah, it's just silly.
Black Clover makes sense just because it's even though those Blu-rays are going to be so confusing now, because I'm pretty sure the Blu-rays were released as like season 1, 2, 3, and 4 originally.
Oh, Jesus. But anyways, the third announcement, which is the only thing we already kind of knew about, is a new video game. But I am really excited for the setup for this one because it is going to essentially adopt the structure of Dragon Ball Online, and it's going to take place 300 years, I believe, after the end of Z, which is really interesting. Like, I want to see like how much stuff is going to come over from like Dragon Ball Online and like Xenoverse, like all those like pre-existing video game universe stuff, and like how that's going to translate, like. Because obviously there are some characters that are still going to be around. Like obviously Beerus and Whis will still be around. Popo will still be around. Korin will probably still be around. Like there'll be like some characters that are still around, but like all of our main heroes are going to be dead and buried. And it's going to be like all their descendants. And like it's already set in the canon that Gohan writes a book about Ki for the masses. So like regular Earthlings know about Ki and like have like a guide to figure it out. So like it's going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have like Goku the 5th and Vegeta the 7th because fuck it.
I'm wondering if they'll like adopt some of the GT stuff and have like Goku Jr. and shit. Like obviously it won't be the same character because he'll even be long dead by that point. But
am I the one that was annoyed in that where it was like Goku Jr. and Vegeta Jr.? I'm like, Vegeta should be like Vegeta like the 7th at this point. Let's be real.
Well, at that point, we didn't know that Vegeta himself was Vegeta the 4th.
True. I mean,
that didn't come out for like 25 years or more.
True.
I don't even remember.
True. Also, thinking about that though, like that doesn't even make sense. Like Vegeta, it's not even his son. Like, it doesn't
I
make
don't.
sense.
It was just there to say. It was just there to have that fucking that moment of pointing at the TV. There he is.
See, there's a lot of problems with that special, but like, it's weird that that's the shit that I get like fucking attached to. Like, what? Like, this makes no sense. So like,
that wasn't even
like,
the special. That was the final episode of GT.
Was it? Okay, I always forget GT's.
Yeah, because the special was like Goku Jr. like learning how to turn Super Saiyan and like not to be
right.
And then at the end of GT, like the last scene was old Pan watching Goku Jr. and Vegeta Jr. fight at the tournament.
That's what it was.
I need to go through GT again. It's been a while.
I'm like sitting here, and every time I think about doing it, I'm like, I just hear the Grand Tour, and I'm just like, I don't want to. I don't want to.
You don't have to listen to the Grand Tour.
It's not even that I don't. It's not even the Grand Tour. It's just I think about. I get that song in my head. It immediately kills any interest in me watching that show because then I just think about all of it, and I'm like, nah, I'm good.
The Japanese music is actually really good.
I know it is, but the show is still shit. That's the problem.
So I have still been plugging away on CW.
Nice.
I am into Arrow season 3 and Flash season 1 at this point. I'm like,
okay, so
I'm past the halfway points on both. Yeah. Oh, by the way, so you know how like ever since Solo Leveling, like the whole concept of aura farming has been like all over the place. Like, who are the best aura farmers and everything else? Look, fucking Slade Wilson in season 2 of Arrow farms all the aura. All of it.
Yeah, and he's so inaccurate from his comic depiction, but his comic depiction is such a piece of shit, so I don't really care that much.
It's okay. I don't mind.
It's so... We'll have to cover one of these books with Deathstroke in it so you can actually see just that character is so fucking awful.
Yeah, see the most I know about Deathstroke comes from CW and Teen Titans. So
which are very tame versions of the character. I'm not even going to get into it.
Also, I watched, it was years ago, but I watched Teen Titans Judas Contract. I saw him a little bit there too.
Yeah.
But
that movie.
So, but yeah, Slade Wilson in Arrow is like the ultimate aura farmer. Like, dude, like that scene when fucking Oliver comes back to his mom's house and his mom's having a meeting with Slade, and just the whole time he's just like sliding these little like jabs at him underneath, like right in front of his mom. Like, oh my god, dude, it's fucking insane. It's good.
So watching the CW shows again, I always get so like confused because I'm always like, wow, they just like threw characters in the most random fucking places. Because like Slade in like Green Arrow, that just makes no sense. Like, why is he there? He's Titans villain.
Well, that's because with the Arrow show, they just gave him all Batman villains. It's just like, here's all the Batman villains.
I know. Trust me, when you get into Flash, there are characters that just don't fucking fit in certain spots, and I'm just like, it's okay. It's the CW. They're doing their thing.
It's its own universe. It's okay for it to be different.
Also, so fun fact about CW, I started rewatching Superman and Lois yesterday because I was bored. Mm-hmm. I forgot Superman and Lois is in its own universe.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that too because I was looking up the watch order, and then it would be like I was going through the whole thing. I'm like waiting for Superman and Lois to pop up, and then like all the way at the bottom, it was just like things that are kind of related but not part of the same universe. And Superman and Lois was down there. I'm like, oh, that's weird.
So the story goes is originally it was supposed to be because those characters were first introduced in Supergirl and then the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover event. But apparently during production, because that was right at the tail end of COVID. There was going to be like a Batwoman crossover, but COVID ended up like screwing up that entire thing to the point where they just decided, you know what? Make it standalone. Let's not even bother with this shit. So it's completely its own thing. And honestly, kind of works for the better because you can just jump right into it and not have to worry about anything.
That's fair. I mean, I'll still probably watch it at the end, like once I finish.
Well, it's the perfect way to cap it off because it's such a good ending.
Yeah, because they use the same actors too, don't they?
For Clark and Lois, yeah, it's Tyler Hoatzine and Elizabeth Tuliach, I think their names are pronounced.
Yeah. Okay.
Still my favorite live action.
And apparently, from what I saw, there is a brief cameo from John Diggle in there, but it's a different John Diggle.
Yeah, it's the CW verse completely like gave up on continuity by that point because they were.
It was crazy though, because like going through Arrow, there was like so many things that I forgot about. Like as I'm going through, I'm like, oh wait a minute, this is coming up. You know, like I had totally forgotten that Thea was Malcolm Merlin's kid.
Yeah, it's so funny too watching that, and like I like that version of Ollie, but he's so different from comic Ollie. It's not even funny.
That's fair. I mean, that's one of the other reasons why I want to like spend more time reading all the DC comics and stuff. Is like I love all these different versions, like the movies and the CW verse and everything else. But like, and that's one of those things with American comics is like you have that freedom to kind of play around with it depending on how you're adapting it. You know.
Yeah.
So it's funny how like comic fans are okay, like for the most part, about like these different adaptations, like messing with stuff and changing stuff around. But whenever like an anime adaptation comes out, everyone's just like, no, that's not right.
Well, you gotta remember in comics, continuity is a very flimsy thing at times, and a lot of people are just kind of like, we got infinite Earths. Like this is just Earth 2078 over here, and it's just gonna do its own thing. It ain't gonna mess with the comics. The comics have their own problems. We're gonna just hope that they live separately in harmony. It's when it's when the synergy happens where the a TV series does something that where like the comics like, oh, that's a good idea, and they take that, and the comic fans are like, no, let's keep that over there.
You know. Oh, and I also I went to the Plymouth Library and they had Gotham, so I took that out and I'm going to check that out at some point in the future. Also, I forgot to mention it when I brought it up a few weeks ago, but when I was watching Titans season 1, there was this one scene where I think Wonder Girl dragged Dick to like a charity function or something. It was like a fancy pants, like, you know, suit and tie kind of event. Mm-hmm. And he was just wandering around, like trying to make conversation. It just wasn't working out for him. And at one point, he's just standing there by himself with a drink in his hand. He just goes, I wonder what the Penguin's up to. It's just like super random, just out there. But it's just like, yeah, I guess he would be like thinking random shit like that. Just like, yeah, I wonder what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, no, it's like that Titan show is so weird because like the characterization is like good at points and then awful at points at the same time.
Yeah, I'll get back to it eventually. Like either like if I hit a point where I have to stop for a while in CW just because I don't have everything, or when I finish it, I will eventually go back and finish the Titans show. But it's definitely not my favorite.
No,
everything I've seen.
I appreciate it because it's like one of the rare like Titans adaptations that actually like does something with Donna, because she's like the most underutilized fucking Titan like in like all of it. But unfortunately they don't do a great job with her, which it's like, all right, well, like she's here, I guess. But that's more just because like the Titans are my favorite team in comics, but like they have been so fucking like. DC doesn't know what the fuck to do with them half the time, I swear to God.
Yeah.
Like anytime they get a good run of like comics, it'll start out really good, and then like DC will change the creative team, and then the creative team's like, I don't know what to do. So they just rehash old shit that we've been doing since like the 80s. And it's just like, oh, good. So we're not going to develop these characters at all. We're just going to keep doing the same 3 stories over and over again. Great.
Yeah. But yeah, Xander was home last night. We didn't have Francis. And he finally watched Batman 89 for the first time.
Oh, nice. What was his reaction to Joker shooting down the Batwing?
He didn't have a problem with it. I think he just like saw the big ass gun and just like, oh, that's funny. So he didn't really think too much about it.
That's one of those things that's funny, but then you're like, wait a goddamn minute. Like, that doesn't work. Like, no.
I think he just accepted that it's just like the silliness of comics, and he just let it go.
That movie has its problems, but it's still a great watch all the way through.
Yeah, and he was like asking about like is there sequels and stuff? Like, oh yes, in fact there is. There's three sequels.
There's 3 sequels. One of them's good.
I'm sure he'll still find humor out of them.
I mean, he'll probably Forever's okay. Batman and Robin, that's a flaming pile of shit that we're gonna get to eventually.
Yeah. And then eventually I got to get around to watching the Christopher Nolan movies with him.
Those are good. Those are good as a self-contained like thing.
Yeah, I'm going to educate that boy. I know he's always been a Marvel kid. I can educate that boy at least on Batman.
I mean, show him the new Superman. You might like it.
I still haven't even watched it yet. Yeah, he needs to watch the old Superman.
The 78, yes.
Yes.
You don't really have to watch anything after that.
The original Superman.
Unless you really want to subject him to that mess.
He needs to see that one scene where the little girl's like, Mommy, a flying man just came down and saved my cat out of a tree. She goes, stop lying.
Yeah. It's going to be really funny when
that was my reaction. I had to rewind it. I was like, did I just see that?
The 70s were such a fun time, weren't they? Yeah, that's one of those movies that's kind of like, it's going to be very interesting when you watch, like, say, Superman and Lois or, like, Superman 2025, where it's going to be like, you'll look at the classic, like, Christopher Reeve, like, portrayal, and then you look at the modern portrayals, you're like, wow, Superman is such a different character now.
Mm-hmm.
But still the same in a lot of ways.
All the different versions of Superman, so.
Yeah, I can give you the play-by-play because I've lived it. How's the anime watching been going? I'm still kind of on the off right now.
Yeah, what anime watching? I haven't watched JJK yet.
I haven't either. I saw the first 2 episodes are up, and I'm like, later. I don't need depression in my life right now.
No, I mean, I already know everything that's going to happen because I read the manga last year. But I mean, I'm also just not in a huge rush right now. Like I've been enjoying my superhero run at the moment, so I'm just riding.
Yeah, I got to watch the last episode of Spy Family that came out yesterday, and then that that'll be over. I mean, I love the imposter arc, or like that final arc before the flashbacks. The anime did it really good. The anime has honestly done the manga really well.
What flashback arc?
So
the flashback arc?
No, that's what I'm assuming is next.
Oh, okay. Oh, what was Mr. Elegant?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what the next anime season's going to cover.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because this was the whole like infiltration arc where like the imposters going around, and then Lloyd runs into Yuri as Yuri.
Yeah.
Which that scene animated hits so much different than it did in the manga.
I'll bet.
Oh, and Vigilantes.
Yes, I have been watching that. I haven't watched the newest one, but
okay. It was good. All Might appears. So
that's fun. I'm trying to think. We're still waiting for dubs for a lot of other stuff right now. Like I'll probably like start watching Trigun when that starts coming out in English. Hell's Paradise.
I think the first episode's out for that.
Still waiting for Oshinoko.
Yeah, that's probably going to be it. They're probably honestly working on it now because apparently High Dive still gets it. I don't know how it's going to work. I think it might be a situation, unfortunately, where High Dive gets the dub and Crunchy doesn't.
We'll see.
Or we're going to get dueling dubs, and that'll be interesting.
Yeah. I have been playing a good amount of Hades this past week.
Nice.
I fell into the hole and I've just been playing that a bunch. And that's been really fun. I've been enjoying that game a lot.
When you finish that game and if you're still into that style, you got to play Bastion.
Okay.
That was their first game. It's on pretty much everything now.
Okay. I'll check it out.
It's the same style. It's just
there's also the second game too.
Yeah, there's Hades 2. There's They also did a game called Transistor, which is really cool. Same style. It's basically that top-down kind of hand-drawn look.
The Diablo kind of style to it.
Yeah. Bastion, the reason I always bring that one up is because Bastion not only has like such a cool concept and like world building, but the soundtrack in that game is so fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
It's an experience. Like I've played Bastion on my computer, on my Vita, on my Switch. Like I've played that game so many times.
You know what's been cool though, like going through the first season of Flash again, is that like I'm picking up on so many little like with Harrison Wells, quote unquote. Like so many like when they're having like an emotional scene or something, and he's having like one of his moments where he's like saying like a speech or he's like giving his opinion on the thing. It's just like I'm catching so many like, little like under the radar things like about what he's actually talking about that I never caught before, and that's been kind of cool. I also forgot that they kind of just like lay their hand out really early in that show. Like they don't even try to make you think like, oh, he's actually like he's just Harrison Wells doing Harrison Wells things. Like no, right from the start they're like, nah, he's a bad guy. He's a bad guy.
Yep.
But then he's also like he's doing this shady bad guy shit, but then he's also like having these really warm moments with everybody, and it's just like what is happening? Like why is this happening this way?
Yeah. God, I really want DC to release some Flash compacts because they haven't yet. Because I want to do
there is one slated for this year. I don't remember. I think it's going to be the first half of the year. There is going to be a Flash compact. I don't remember which one.
Let me check. I have to see if it's even a good story.
But there is one slated for release.
DC Compact Comics. The Flash. What do we got?
I guess it's going to be a Green Arrow one too.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. It's not a great run. Oh well.
Well, like I said, like as they sell more, I'm sure they'll continue making them, and eventually we'll get like a good selection for each hero and or villain.
I'll have to find a way to get it so you can read some of the old Mark Waid Flash stuff, because that stuff is like still peak to me.
But yeah, aside from all that, that's pretty much what I've been up to this week.
Nice. Yeah, I guess on that note, we should probably get into our segment. If I can find it here.
My notes. Pull up my
Yes.
notes.
So we're doing our next edition of Urameshi and Friends Power Hour, where we watch the live-action Yu Yu Hakusho. We're on episode 3, and shit actually happened this time in like a digestible fashion. Thank God.
Yes. Yeah, because we didn't have like super long, drawn-out fights in this one, which was nice. I mean, not to say I didn't like the fights previously, but the one in the first episode that ended that one, like it was definitely way longer than it needed to be. The Goki fight wasn't bad.
The Goki fight wasn't bad. That episode was just so fucking all over the place that it kind of wasn't the best.
Yeah. So like it started out with like Yusuke confronting Hiei to get the sword back, and then Hiei just kind of like they have like a little bit of an exchange, but Hiei pretty much like shuts him down almost instantly. Like, nah, you're not shit. Like I didn't even have to draw my sword. Then he left. But like at the same time, it's like in this version of the show, right? Like the sword didn't even do what it did. The sword just makes a Jagan, and he already made the Jagan. So why doesn't he just give it back? Like he doesn't need it anymore.
Because reasons, I guess.
Like, why hang on to it? You don't need it. It's fine.
You know what kind of bugged me about this episode is like, there's like all this shit going on. Like for the most part, this episode was much better. Like there was plot actually in the really condensed way they're trying to do plot in this. For the most part, like we got a lot of really good character stuff, but like I swear Hiei and Kurama just are there right now, and it's just kind of like okay.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they're already like kind of, well, not so much here, but like in terms of like the overall like product of Yu Yu Hakusho, they're already pretty established characters.
Yeah.
At that point, I mean, they pretty much like whereas like Yusuke and Kuwabara kind of go through their development as the show goes along. And this isn't to say Hiei and Kurama don't, but they are already pretty much the characters that they are at the end.
Yeah.
For the most part.
I think it's the only issue I have is like, at least in like the original anime, we had time to at least get to know them. In this one, Hiei is literally just there. And it's like, if you were coming into this without ever watching anything Yu Yu Hakusho, you're just like, who is this guy and why should I care?
Yeah, that's fair.
It's it's just a thing where it's like it's a problem I've had with this live action since the first episode, where it's very clearly this was made for fans of the series, not for people that have never seen it before.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, yeah, because if you don't already know the story going in, you're gonna be incredibly confused.
Yeah, like extremely.
But we also get a scene of Terukine going to Sakio's island, which I think is supposed to be Hanging Neck Island, where the tournament happens in the show. But here, I guess it's just Sakio's place. And we get that scene like from the anime where they have like the demon monster up against Toguro, and Toguro just takes it out in one hit.
Yep.
I didn't really like the muscle effect. We didn't really get to see it like in full force, but just like the way he was just kind of like boop, and he was just kind of like, oh, I'm a little bit bigger now, you know, like it didn't really do much for me.
You can tell the budget in the show was this show clearly did not have a big budget, and it was used very selectively.
Yeah. I feel like they used it a lot for like the stage dressings and stuff. Like
the sets look great. Like the sets and like the costumes look amazing. It's the effects though, like the pulsating fucking items. I'm just like, I don't like you could have saved so much money and just not done that. Like,
yeah, I don't like the pulsating items, and like things like the little demon dog thing that he killed, like that didn't look great. Like it wasn't terrible, but it was definitely like 15 years ago CG.
Like I'm watching it and I'm just like, it's because we've been watching the CW shows recently. I'm like, this is like CW level at times.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is.
It's just an insult. Show, it's just kind of like a thing where you're like, yeah, I can see it.
I'm sure it would look better if it was a movie, but because I mean, even like looking back to like the Bleach live action, like that had really good effects for the most part. Like some stuff looked a little wonky, but for the most part, it did really well with that.
Rurouni Kenshin movies, those are still the pinnacle, I'd say.
Well, Kenshin has the benefit of not needing to use CG much, so when they do use it, like they can actually put budget into it.
Oh yeah, and just the practical, like everything being so practical in that series just works.
Yeah, for sure. Also, Elder Jigoro, still creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially like later on, like when they have the whole like him disguising himself as Hiei thing. And you see that like weird like his face inside Hiei's face. It was weird.
I didn't like that very much. I was kind of like, okay, we're doing this.
It was an awkward effect, but it was also unsettling because his face was like really, really small.
Yeah, I was just like, sure.
It was weird.
I will say now, one thing I really liked about this episode was Genkai.
Yes, I loved Genkai's look here because like you could tell like she's definitely like, you know, she's gone gray, but like you could still kind of see like the pink in the gray.
Well, you could tell it's like she's an older woman, but she's not like decrepit like she was in the anime.
Well, she's supposed to be. She's supposed to be in like her 70s, right? 60s, 70s.
Yeah, but that would never work for a live action.
True. Yeah, I loved the training stuff. They did a really, really good job with the training stuff. Because they did the whole like balancing on the spike thing that they did in the anime.
I love the Kuwabara. Now you, buddy, you're going to go over here and punch this rock. Have fun.
Yeah, is it just me, or did Kuwabara's training arc here remind you a lot of Sanosuke's training arc in like the Kyoto arc of Rurouni Kenshin?
A little.
It's like, I'll break the rock with a special move. It's like, no, cut the rock in half with a wooden sword.
I found it kind of endearing though, because like Kuwabara. So Aside from the look, Kuwabara's been very well written so far throughout this series.
Yeah, for sure.
They got his sword the wrong color, though.
Yeah. But now it looks like a lightsaber, so.
But I liked Fire Sword. Fire Sword was so much cooler.
Yeah, but Fire Sword is more Hiei's thing anyway.
Is it? What is Hiei's thing?
Yeah, he uses the Black Fire Sword.
Yeah.
But anyways, like, yeah, Kuwabara was definitely kind of like the heart of this episode because like it was really just like seeing how dedicated he was to his training that made Yusuke like, all right, maybe I should get off my ass and actually try.
I do love how he just tags along. He's like, yeah, he just finds Botan and Yusuke and he's like, I'm coming. And Botan's like, okay, I guess, sure.
And then it was the same thing at the end of the episode when they're like going to the pier. He's just like, hey, I'm coming. Just like, stop trying to leave me behind, God damn it.
I really like Botan's actress. She really does a good job.
Yeah, for sure. I also love like the scene where Botan's going, like she's reporting back to Koenma. Koenma's like, oh, he's been training for almost a month. How is his progress coming along? And Botan's just like, it's not. He's like, what? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I love the reactions from Koenma.
I'm kind of happy they just went with adult Koenma for this because that would have been. We would have got some weird CGI baby thing. I would have hated it.
Yeah, and as we saw in the Flash movie, CGI baby, not good.
CGI baby and talking babies in general just aren't good. So
yeah, this is true. This is true. Oh yeah, we had the scene where Karama approached Hiei and said what we just said like 5 minutes ago. It was just like, hey, you don't need that anymore. Can I just have it and give it back to them? Like, you don't need the sword anymore. Just give it to me.
He's like, no, it's mine.
He's just like, no, I stole it. I stole it fair and square. I keep it forever.
We also had a bit more of what's Hiei's sister's name again?
Yukina.
Yukina. We had a bit more of her.
Yeah, we had the whole scene of like the dude who broke her out and was trying
I'm
to.
not gonna lie. When I saw her the first time, I thought it was Botan for some reason, and I'm like hey, what's going on here?
The blue hair thing, you know.
They aren't as stylized this time around, so I was kind of like, oh, that's not Botan. Okay.
Well, they both short. They both have blue hair and kimonos. It's easy to make that mistake.
But one cries ice, and the other one is.
The other one rides an oar.
Yeah, pretty much.
And drinks beer.
Yeah.
So we saw the whole like scene of him trying to break Yukina out, but Elder Tagoro was waiting on the helicopter that they were trying to escape to, and he used his weird stretchy fingers.
Didn't like that.
Yeah, and then like he like got shot in the head like 18 times. And it just kind of like formed back to normal. Just like,
yeah, I was just like, I'm like, CG budget could have been used so much more efficiently to make this look good, but no, I guess not. That's fine.
Oh, also the rest of like Team Tagoro from the tournament are also there. So Abui and Karasu are also there, which we'll see how that goes.
I'm very curious.
We have a lot of stuff to resolve in 2 episodes.
Yeah, that's should have been a fucking 10 episode or 12 episode series, but whatever. Yeah, I'm like already like, because the Tournament of Power is already super long.
You mean
to begin with?
You mean the Dark Tournament?
Sure, same thing. Guys punch each other. I mean, it's the same thing. That is super long in the anime, so I'm curious how they're going to shove it into like 1 episode, but we'll see.
Well, it's not even going to be a tournament. It's just going to be Team Tagoro versus Team Urameshi, essentially. So.
Oh, okay. So it's going to be less bullshit. So we're not going to get to see Yusuke beat the shit out of what's her face for no reason.
No. So this is from what I'm gathering, because I haven't watched this since it came out. From basically like my perspective here, is that they're fusing all the different arcs together, but they're using the Rescue Yukina arc as the baseline of it. So the whole thing is like we got to rescue Yukina and now Keiko because she was kidnapped, of course.
Of course she was.
And they're using that as the baseline of like, all right, so this is going to like be the connecting point for the tournament arc and for the Chapter Black arc and all that. Like it's all kind of forming around rescuing Yukina.
Yes.
Let's see. So we actually got like the spirit orb transfer in this episode as well. We got like literally every aspect of Yusuke's training all in one episode.
Yeah, and it was very like it's just like shoved together. It's like here it is. Urameshi fucking Kuwabara gets to go punch a rock. Meanwhile, this happens.
Yeah, you get the orb and it doesn't hurt at all. It just eat it. You're fine. Which is a much more like, you know, symbolic thing in the anime. And here it's just like, yeah, no, here you go. It's yours now. And then, of course, we had Toguro show up because he has to kill Genkai for reasons. And actually, now I'm thinking about it, that might be it. Because I know, like, I was remembering in the first episode when we were talking about Koenma's look, and I was just like, why even have the pacifier for not doing the baby thing? I think he's going to use it to bring back Genkai.
Right.
I don't remember entirely, but that's my assumption, because otherwise, why have it?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, so like during the whole training thing, we got the whole concept of like condensing the spirit energy to like do a stronger spirit gun. Which you'd think would be obvious anyway. And also like when she says, oh, condense it and make it stronger and he shoots it in the air, I'm like, that doesn't look condensed at all. In fact, it looks bigger than it did before.
Condense, I mean expand, the same thing.
Yeah, right? But I love the scene where Kuwabara unlocks the sword. Because at that point, like, he had shattered so many wooden swords, like, just trying to break that rock, and then he finally does it.
I love the implication, too, that he's just been hitting that rock this entire time.
Oh, he has. I mean, they blatantly say it.
Hasn't even stopped, just beating the shit out of the rock.
And when he actually has that moment where he, like, falls against the rock because he's just so fucking worn out, you see his hands, they're all, like, fucking bloodied up because he's just been doing it so much.
Yeah.
I do like that they've taken the time to really like include those kinds of details throughout this show.
It's weird. The budget went into the weirdest fucking places.
True. I'm trying to think if there's anything else really worth mentioning. I mean, obviously we had like Yusuke and Hiei Part 2, which did end up getting broken up by Kurama. He was basically like, hey, oh yeah, because we had the whole scene where Yusuke is like, he's back from training and he's eating at Keiko's restaurant. And as he's going to leave, she vanishes and he sees like Hiei run off with her. But it's not really Hiei, it's actually Elder Toguro in disguise.
That scene was so goofy, too, by the way. Just like, he's like, I'm getting away. And I'm just like,
yeah. Well, I think it's one of those things where Elder Toguro is such a cartoon villain. Like he is creepy and like cringeworthy to see in general, but he's also just so cartoonishly evil.
The best part too is like the scene where he's like pulling like Keiko off screen. Like you could tell like the actor was not comfortable like grabbing her, so she's like barely held on to as he's pulling her away. I'm like, Keiko, just run. You're good.
But yeah, they had their little exchange, and he was just like, "Oh, you took Keiko and blah blah blah." And
you took my love interest I sometimes care about.
You took my girlfriend. That's not my girlfriend.
That I selectively care about, and will probably beat the shit out of during the Tournament of Power in the anime. What? Anyways.
And then they all have their little conversation, and they're like, "Okay, let's all go to the docks together because fuck it, we're just gonna go beat him up."
Yeah.
And Kuwabara comes out of nowhere. It's like, "I'm coming too.
I got sword."
Yep. Me got sword strong. That's a plow.
That was a plow truck. Yes. Overall, it was a pretty good episode.
Yeah, I don't really think there's too much else to mention at this point.
It was interesting to me because episode 2 felt like it was like 5 hours long, and this one felt like about 30 minutes.
Yeah,
at most.
which is ironic because I think they were about the same length.
They were. That second episode though fucking just drags. Like, I was
Well,
like,
and
damn.
it's one of those things where it seemed like they just took 2 episodes of the anime and mashed them together as live action.
Mashed them together poorly. Because
Yeah.
This one though
Also-
was very quick.
Also, I find it odd that the whole like insect thing has just been kind of thrown out the window. Like,
No, it's not important anymore.
it was only important enough for him to get hit by a car and then to fight that nerd kid.
Yeah, ain't important anymore.
No.
It'll come back later, I'm sure, or not. Probably not.
Also, I'm upset that we haven't gotten what's her name? Kubar's sister.
Oh yeah, I was because we got Yusuke's mom, but not her. She hasn't appeared yet.
Well, we had to have Yusuke's mom for the whole like death scene and everything,
Yeah.
like the whole him being dead thing. But
I wonder if they're
Yeah,
just gonna
that's it.
cut her out of the story.
it seems like it at this point because they're already on the way to the island. It's like
Yeah.
I can't see her just showing up and being like, "Hey guys, what's going on?"
Yeah, I always did find her inclusion so random, but it was still fun at the same time. Just to have another character there.
It made sense, you know. She, you know, the Kubar family has high spirit awareness, so she was aware of this stuff from fucking day one. So
She was just there so Keiko had someone to sit with in the stands.
I'm just gonna go to drink beer and smoke cigarettes and goon over Sakio. Apparently,
Well, because I was thinking about it too. Like, she's random to have there, but then Keiko's also so fucking random to be there. Like,
well, and again, they keep going through this whole thing. Oh, normal humans can't see yokai and can't see spirit people and stuff, but like they keep seeing them.
yeah, normal people can't see this until I forget about that plot thing, and we just move on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's been an experience so far, though. I will say.
Yeah, for sure.
Alrighty, so moving on now. We kind of were talking about it earlier, but we're doing something new for this episode. We're covering an American comic.
Mm-hmm.
This American comic in particular.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you take the reins on this one.
Oh boy! So for this episode, we are talking about Batman Hush. One of the more iconic runs for Batman. So this run ran from 2002, October 2002 to September 2003. It took place from in Batman's number 608 to 619. So it was a brief like run during the Batman comic in the early 2000s. Famously, this story was written by Jeph Loeb, but even more iconically, it was drawn by Jim Lee in one of his first times drawing Batman, and it shows because the art in this is so fucking extra. It's not even funny.
Oh, we'll get into it, but some of I thought Japanese fan service was bad.
So Jim Lee is like considered one of the greatest comic artists of all time, and this was like because he was originally a Marvel guy, and then he had left Marvel to form to be one of the co-founders of Image Comics, and then he ended up selling his Image imprint to DC, and then he's went over to DC, and he's in that time now he's now the president of DC, so that shows you how that went. Yeah, but no, he is famous for his art. Like his art is very well known and iconic, but he's also infamous for he is. If Jim Lee's writing a book, it's going to probably be delayed because he's a very busy man and doesn't have a lot of time to draw anymore. But yeah, this was like one of 2 books he was on when he first came over to DC because they really wanted him to write a Batman story, draw a Batman story, and then draw Superman. He did Hush, which is for the most part, well-received book. And then he did a book called Superman for Tomorrow, and it has generally been considered that he is the best part of Superman for Tomorrow because the story itself is garbage. But that's besides the point. That's an episode that I don't even think we'll ever do because that book is so hard to get through. The best part of that book is just looking at the art. Like it literally, that's all that matters.
Fair.
So, what were your initial thoughts on Batman Hush?
I mean, I enjoyed the ride for sure. I mean, the main reason I picked that one over the other Batman comics that they had at Newberry was because like I just kind of flipped through it real quick, and I happened to notice that there were like a myriad of Batman villains throughout. So I was like, oh, okay, this is for a first one, like getting one that has like a good little like mix of all these different iconic villains. Like that sounds good. Like I had no idea like what the actual story was going to be or when it was going to take place or anything like that. It was just I just thought it would be a good place to start, like having like a good little mix of all the different villains that make Batman so interesting.
Yeah. It's interesting too because so I was saying Jeph Loeb was the writer for this book, and Jeph Loeb is a very complicated writer in DC these days. Well, just in comics in general, he really hit it out of the park with his early stuff. Like one of his most famous works is Batman: The Long Halloween, which is like absolutely iconic. Excellent story. He also did Dark Victory, its sequel. He did a Superman book called Superman's For All Seasons, which is kind of like not a full-on retelling of his origin, but kind of like just a retelling in general, like introduction for Superman, which is a very good book. A lot of his work it was him and then drawn by Tim Saleh, which is all iconic stuff. He also had a lengthy Superman run where he was one of the main writers for a long time, and his Superman and Batman comics. Like he famously wrote the Public Enemies book, the Supergirl Return of Supergirl like book. A lot of really good stuff. Unfortunately, it was kind of a case of tragically his son passed away from cancer in like the mid 2000s, and he never recovered. Like his writing like took a sharp decline in quality. Like this book is one of like the last really good things he wrote, and even then Hush is where you can see the cracks were starting to form. Because after that his writing took a very cynical, like dark outlook on stuff. Like he infamously wrote a book for Marvel called Ultimatum, which was literally just a gore fest murder book where like most of the cast of Marvel's Ultimate Universe get brutally murdered. Like it's a dark book, like not a good book at all. And
I mean,
he never really recovered it. Like I
was gonna say I can't say I blame him. That's it's a rough thing to go through.
It's heavy. He's made some controversial statements over the years recently too. I'm not going to get into, but his writing used to be very tight and like a very like you notice particularly when you had to have noticed when reading Hush, like the big difference between like say manga and American comics is there is a lot of like dialogue boxes that aren't like speech bubbles thrown throughout. And a lot of it is like the characters inner monologuing.
Yeah, but it's also like simultaneously narration.
Yeah, like it's kind of like a mix of both. And the way he writes the narration, particularly like Batman's thoughts, like Bruce's thoughts, it's very compelling the way he does it. It's something that he just kind of lost because, fun fact, they're doing a sequel to Hush currently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was. It's not good. It's really bad. Because
okay.
Because it was supposed to end like a year ago, and it's been super delayed because Jim Lee can't keep a deadline because he's the president of DC. But also, Jeph Loeb clearly didn't read DC Comics since he did Hush, because when you read it, you're like, oh, he just didn't ignore like 20 years of continuity and just continued on from where he left off. I see. Right. And his writing is significantly worse now. Great.
Okay.
Also, it's called Hush 2, and there's been like 4 sequels to Hush in between, and he just ignores all of that. So yeah, it was a gimmick to sell books, and it's bad. Like this is so the current Hush 2 is like, I think it's like Batman 1 something of that current like Batman run. They started a new Batman run because they were like, fuck it, we don't start the new run now and we'll just finish that whenever it finishes. So there's 2 Batman books concurrently going right now.
See, this just, ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly why I put off getting into American comics so long.
Yeah, it is not fun. It is not fun at all. But that's besides the point. I love it and hate it. Getting back to Hush, though, a good book. This book is an interesting, like, introspection of Batman as a character in a lot of ways. Like, we get a lot of his, like, childhood in this one. Like, you don't get a lot of Bruce's childhood over the years. And one of the main themes we have throughout this book is Bruce's relationship with a childhood friend named Tommy Elliott.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very interesting because we see a lot of, like, this book drops a lot of hints throughout that don't get revealed until right at the end, and then you go, huh? Like,
yeah. The conclusion was really bizarre.
Yeah, it's still bizarre to this day. Yeah, so it's interesting too. Like, we get like this, like, we kind of go through like this thing where Batman is kind of, he's doing his usual stuff in Gotham. He rescues a child from Killer Croc. Goes through that, and then he starts pursuing Catwoman because she stole a bunch of money, of course.
He starts pursuing Catwoman in multiple ways.
Well, I mean, you know. But during the pursuit, somebody cuts his line, and he ends up falling into an alley and gets, like, severely concussed. And he ends up getting rescued by Catwoman and the Huntress. The Huntress is another complicated character that DC doesn't know what the fuck to do with half the time.
I don't even know what Huntress's actual deal is, because the only version of Huntress I really know is the CW version.
Yeah, I don't even like that one either. The one that I know the best is the one from the DC animated universe. She's a complicated character. There's also like two versions of the Huntress, and DC can't decide which one they want to use half the time.
It seems to be a consistent thing with DC.
They've gotten a lot better as of late, but there was a good point of time where it was like, holy shit. Batman ends up getting rescued and brought back to the Batcave, but we find out that the damage to, like, he's got severe head damage, like head trauma, and Alfred is not capable of doing it because he's skilled, but he's not that skilled.
Yeah, he's like a highly skilled medic, not a doctor.
Yeah. So they're trying to find like a surgeon that can do it, and Batman says, like, get Tommy Elliott. And they're like, that's weird.
Yeah, he uses Morse code.
Yeah. So they bring him in, and I love that they do this whole thing where they're like, all right, we got to like simulate a thing. How are we going to do this? Just have Dick crash the Batmobile. Well, they crashed the Lamborghini or whatever. So they end up doing that, and Batman fully recovers, and it's a whole thing where it's implied that we find out that him and Tommy haven't spoken in a long time, but they were like really close childhood friends, and he keeps like kind of checking in on him to see how he's doing. Meanwhile, Batman's now fully back because, of course, he already is, despite almost dying. And he's trying to pursue the cause of this big mystery, because it's kind of like now a mystery thing, like who cut his line. Like, there's a lot of puzzle pieces getting fitted together here.
Yeah, because he tracks down Catwoman, and Catwoman's like, I was being mind controlled by Poison Ivy. So then they're trying to go out to Poison Ivy, but she ran off to Metropolis for some reason. Yeah,
because convenience, I guess. And I do love the part too where so Bruce then decides, all right, I guess I got to go make a business trip in Metropolis. And I love too that there's that point where like Tommy goes to visit the manor, and Alfred's like, he's not here. Sorry.
Yeah. Like, oops.
Make up an excuse, Alfred. I'm busy. Doing things.
I'm too busy making out with a chick dressed like a cat.
Well, I'm dressed like a bat.
While I'm dressed like a bat. Yes.
Makes sense. Start wondering who should be in Arkham Asylum.
Wait, hold up. Does this make Batman a furry?
I don't want to think about that. No, because he doesn't act like he's a bat. He just it's a thing.
No, he's Batman. He's not a bat. He's Batman. That's
Well,
just different.
there's Man Bat as well, but that's a different thing entirely.
Yeah.
But so he ends up making the trip to Metropolis because he's like, oh, I have businesses there that I can pretend I'm checking in on.
The first thing he does is start hitting on Lois Lane.
Well, before that, he runs into Tommy at the airport because he just happens to be there. It's like, oh, hey, what's up? Sorry, I don't talk to you ever. But yeah, we should totally play a game of war later.
Yeah. You still got your figures? I brought them with me. Why?
Why not?
Why did you bring them?
It's so funny too, like the way, because it's always very interesting how Batman's written. And this is kind of a case where like Batman is really the character, and Bruce is kind of like his facade he puts on a lot of the times. But it's really funny so he then goes to the planet because I guess at this point in the comics he owned the planet. I don't even remember that being a thing, but sure.
I guess so.
I guess he did.
Also,
at one
Lex Luthor is the president of the United States.
Oh yeah, that was a whole arc. Like President Lex is a book actually that we should read at some point because that is a whole thing.
I wasn't expecting that at all. And then Talia al Ghul is running LexCorp or whatever. It was like, what the fuck is happening?
That happened for a bit. Sometimes DC continuity. I don't even know if that's canon anymore, but hey, it happened at this point.
And also, I kept getting confused by this the first run through, but like, because he kept like talking to O throughout his earpiece. I'm like, who the fuck is O? And then I realized, like, oh, this is post-Killing Joke. Oracle is, it's Barbara. Yeah.
So in most post-crisis books, Barbara is Oracle because Killing Joke was very early in the post-crisis timeline. But yes, anytime he talks to O is Barbara.
So for a lot of those movies that we got like over the past, like the animated movies, like with like Son of Batman, all that stuff, are those all like just comic runs that they turn into movies, or
very loosely? Very loosely, because those are so all the movies from Justice League War up until Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, those are all technically in continuity with each other.
Okay.
Like Son of Batman, Batman versus Robin, the Justice League, the Teen Titans versus Justice League, the Judas Contract, like all of those are technically in that same continuity. Like the Death of Superman, Reign of the Superman, the Hush movie, which we'll get into that later because there's stuff to say about that.
Didn't even know there was one.
There is. If you thought that the choices they made in this book were bizarre, that movie decided to say, we're not going to truly adapt it. We're going to change shit for the fuck of it. And the way they changed it was questionable to say the least. But we're not going to talk about that movie. Yeah, those animated movies are loosely based off comic runs though. Like Death of Superman is very loosely based off of the Death of Superman. Because there was also Superman Doomsday, like an earlier film, which was also based off Death of Superman, but different.
That's weird.
Yeah, I mean they're good for what they are as standalones. But going back to Hush, so he visits the planet for reasons. I don't even know why he goes to the planet, to be perfectly honest. Like thinking about it, like he literally.
I think maybe he just wanted to make Clark aware that he was there, so that they would like meet up later or something.
I think so. It's always been super unclear because he literally shows up, starts flirting with Lois, and Lois just kind of is like, "Oh, cool, whatever. What's up, Mr. Owner of the Planet?" Also, they really played into that whole thing where Lois can't spell for some reason. Like that's a running joke that they sometimes go with, sometimes don't. But yeah, he's like flirting with Lois, and then like Clark just like appears over the corner, and he's like, "I'm here, by the way."
He's like, "Why are you hitting on my wife?"
Yeah.
And why are you flirting with him?
Well, we find out
like this.
We find out at the end that Lois was just fucking with him, and was actually she's like, so what do you think he was actually here for? Now that I've been, she's basically like, "Oh, that was fun pretending to flirt with the rich businessman. I didn't make you jealous, Mr. Kent, did I?" And then Clark's like, "Well, as long as I get to go home with Mrs. Kent, that's all I care about."
Yeah.
But he literally shows up just to use Lois's computer to talk to Barbara for like 3 seconds and then leaves.
Which is weird because you'd think he'd have like a laptop, you know? Like he brought his fucking war figurines that for a game with somebody who didn't even know he was going to see, but he didn't bring a laptop.
I also think it's just because it was like Jim Lee's first time drawing them, but like Lois looked odd, like in her first appearance there. It's the way he drew her. Like she looks different in her later appearance in the book. I guess he was trying to get used to the coloring. Also, like Perry White apparently doesn't like acknowledge Clark exists half the time.
So weird. So yeah, like after that, like Catwoman and Batman are going after they're trying to like track down Poison Ivy, and like in the process Superman shows up and he's just like, mind controlled,
brainwashed. I did enjoy that one line though, right before Clark leaves the planet, where like what was the dumb line? Oh yeah, he's like trying to tell Lois, oh yeah, I gotta go do something, and her exact response is, you go have fun being all tights and flights. I was like, that's cute. I like that.
That's fun.
But yeah, so Superman is brain controlled, and like that's never good. That's never a good thing.
No, not in my experience. I don't even know that much about Superman. I've seen him mind controlled enough to know that it's not a good thing.
Well, you got to remember, when he's not mind controlled, he's usually holding back and in very good control of things. Mm-hmm. When he's not, he could turn Batman into red paste with one punch. So, yes.
Yeah. Yes. Superman is the original One Punch Man.
Pretty much. What's funny though is like, so there's like this whole art fight down in the sewers, and Batman's like, I broke a gas lane. You don't want to blow up the entire city. And Superman's like conscious, won't let him do it. And then we get that great line after he's got the upper hand, where he's like, oh yeah, by the way, about the gas line, I lied.
Yeah.
Which is, it's perfectly playing into the fact that Clark is such a fucking Boy Scout a lot of the times.
Yeah, but it was interesting how the mind control works here too, because like, yeah, he is like under like the thrall essentially of Poison Ivy, but there's also like some of the morals still hold. Like he will still go out of his way to not cause like mass destruction. Like he'll still go out of his way to save Lois Lane as she's falling, like despite being mind controlled. Like,
yeah, so that's an interesting thing where like throughout this whole thing, eventually they're like, all right, we have to snap Clark out of it. So they kidnap Lois.
Which apparently was entirely by chance, because apparently Batman didn't tell her to kidnap specifically Lois. He just said, go take someone from the Daily Planet.
Yeah. We'll get into that, because it's there's actually a bit of a deeper thing there. But like what happens is like Lois is hilariously a bad damsel in distress. Like she doesn't like cooperate at all. So she ends up, even though Catwoman wasn't going to throw her off the roof, she ends up falling off the roof anyways, because of course.
Because she was struggling too much.
Yeah. And of course Clark rescues her, because that's just what he does. But I did also like that line too, where Lois is like, so are you two working together or something? And she's like, you writing a book?
Also, funny. There was a scene like after the whole rescue when they break Superman out of it, and Catwoman and Lois are talking on the roof, and Catwoman is just like, she's like doing a handstand but also a split at the same time, and it's just like, why? But why though? Why are you doing that?
Because Jim Lee likes to draw stuff like that. Like there were definitely a lot of moments where
like that is a skin tight leather suit. You are giving Lois a full on show. Really just showing off that camel toe.
Lois does not care about that. Like she's just like, yeah, whatever.
Like she is not leaving anything to the imagination for Lois right now.
Well, the funny part is it is also Lois doesn't care. She's got single target sexuality. Like it's actually confirmed canonically that Lois and Clark are kinky as fuck. Like that is just a thing that's confirmed in comics.
I mean, how could you not be? I mean,
in one of the modern action comics runs, there's a point where like they're having like a family get together in the house, and their son John is like, he's like, all right, I'll get the board games, and like he opens up this like closet, and it's just like Superman's cape, but like it's like a bondage getup. And Lois just like runs over, shuts the door, and she's like, "So what are you looking for, honey?" He's like, don't snoop through my stuff, please.
I can totally see fucking Superman just wearing like a version of his costume, but it's like the stripper version with like assless chaps and shit.
I'm sure that's what they're into. There was a weird like arc going on where they really liked traumatizing their teenage son for a while there.
Oh, I see.
Like, because that happened. Like, there's another point where like they show up like in the window, and Lois is like, "Oh, hey, honey, how's it going?" As she's like opening her shirt up, and then like, John is just there beside Clark's shoulder, and Clark immediately just goes like to cover his eyes. Like, you don't need to see this, son.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there was a weird like arc where they were just doing shit like that. Like, let's just mentally scar their son because we can.
I mean, it was like, I mean, Superman's basically eternal, right? Like, he's basically immortal. Like, will live as long as he is not murdered.
Depends on the writer. Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes no.
I wonder how virile he stays throughout all of that. Like, how's his sex drive throughout like the centuries?
Well, him and Lois have been married since '96. They only have one kid. I'm assuming it just it's hard for aliens and humans to, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he's just trying really hard not to break her in half.
Yeah, I don't know. Writers are very selective on how they want to view that. Because like for years they were like, oh, they can't have kids, and then just randomly like, oh, they got a son now. Cool. It happens.
That's probably part of the reason why people keep wanting to throw Superman and Wonder Woman together. It's just like he needs a woman who he doesn't have to hold back while he's just,
Yeah, but then it ends up being the most boring fucking thing ever. Like it always is so boring. Because the only way that you can put them together is by making them fight all the time, and it's not fun. It's so boring. But moving on from that, because this isn't a fan fiction.
Yet.
Oh no, there's been fan fictions written about this, but anyways, yeah. So going back to that, after Clark gets back to normal, he basically brings up a point of like he's like, Lois could have been killed, and Batman's like, well, she wasn't because I trusted you. And he's like, that doesn't make it better, asshole.
You still threw my wife off a building, dick.
But but also a big plot point here is too, Bruce has revealed his identity to Selina at this point.
Well, it happens a little bit later, but yeah, it happens after the opera stuff.
Right. Oh yeah, no. That's right. I'm mixing it up. Clark was concerned that he had revealed his identity to Selina. And he was like, no. I told her just to pick someone at random. She just happened to pick Lois. I swear.
She just has good instincts, I guess.
Yeah. Or she was the easiest one to grab. I don't know.
Well, with her being such a bad damsel, she must have just been the first one she saw.
Well, she just like throws herself into dangerous situations all the time. So. But after that, yeah, the Superman stuff kind of just ends there, and Clark's like, well, if you need help, you know where to find me. And he's like, thanks. Because they make this big point earlier where they're like, even though you guys have differences, you are still friends. Right? But yeah, so they go back to Gotham, and then that's when the opera charity thing happens. And,
yeah, because Bruce invites Selina, even though Selina doesn't know that he's Batman. Because I was really confused about this at first, because I know that like throughout multiple different universes, I guess, of DC, like there have been several times where people will either just figure out that he's Batman or he'll tell them. And like this is the first like full Batman run I've read, so I have no idea who knows and who doesn't going into this. So I was a little confused at this point.
It depends on continuity. At this point in time, she did not know.
Okay.
But of course, like Clark knows because most of the Justice League do, and then Lois by proxy knows. But
well, Clark would be the first one to just take one look at him and be like, "Oh, Bruce Wayne, X-ray vision, bro. I can see you."
Well, that's why he's got a lead-lined cowl.
Well, that can't be good for him.
It's fine. He keeps kryptonite on him, but that shit ain't probably good either.
He's gonna get lead poisoning.
He's fine. He'll be fine.
No wonder he looks so rough in the Batman Beyond.
Yeah. Well, in the animated universe, that's how Bruce found out who he was, because he used the X-ray, and Bruce was like, "You peeked."
Rude. Also, I find it funny that like he goes to the first of all, Tommy Elliott went back to Gotham, which is like he went to Gotham, came back, and then he went back to Gotham again. Like that wasn't suspicious to Bruce at all.
No, because that's his friend, and like, why would anything? He saved his life, man. He saved his life.
Well, anyways, like it's like Bruce is like, all right, we're gonna go to the opera, and it's like I'm gonna take Selena, and then I'm also gonna invite Tommy Elliott, my childhood friend, who I just now reconnected with after like 30 years, and the old lady who hugged me when my parents died.
Like, well, that's Dr. Leslie Tompkins. She's a very important character in Batman lore.
It's just like, wait a minute, what the fuck?
Yeah, out of context, you're like, who's this random old lady? But
it helps that I just watched the Batman the Animated Series episode with her.
Yeah,
but I was just like, wait, this is an odd group of people to take to the.
No, it is. So in the Batman Hush animated movie, they actually changed it to where Tommy Elliott just brought a random date that was unrelated to the thing.
Fair.
And I think Selena already knew Bruce's identity by this point in the movie because they switched that around a little bit. Mm-hmm. But like, yeah, that was always an odd pair. But yeah, of course they're doing the whole opera thing, and then the opera is like really off, and they're like, "That's weird. Like, what's going on there?" And then surprise, it's Harley Quinn, who I think had only just recently been added to the comics by this point.
Like in general, or just in this?
So, fun fact: Harley Quinn is a canon foreigner.
Oh,
she was created for the animated series by Bruce Timm.
No shit.
And she was so massively popular, they brought her into the comics, and now she's like one of the most iconic DC characters of all time.
I did not know that.
No, she was made for the animated series just as like so Joker could have like a lackey, basically.
Huh.
And she was so popular and well written that she's since become she's been integrated into the comics and is one of the most iconic, well-known characters of all time now.
That's very interesting. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, like you read like old like 80s and 90s Batman comics and like with the Joker, and she's just not a thing yet by that point.
Well, learn something new every day.
But yeah, she shows up and starts some shit basically, and she steals Tommy Elliott's necklace, which is very important to him. Like Bruce learned the hard way. You don't take his necklace.
Which, once you know the full story, it's like, but why though? Why is it so important to you if you felt that way? Like,
it's never been explained either.
It's just like, it's like he arranged for. We're jumping ahead, but like, you arranged your parents to be killed in a car crash. Why do you care about your mom's ring?
I mean, like this book is not written perfectly. That's all I will say.
No, I still don't understand Tommy Elliott's like whole mindset behind all that.
We'll get to there, because as Batman's fighting, trying to save the crowd, Tommy pursues Harley, and then when Batman finds him, he's been shot by the Joker, because the Joker's now here.
Who is like really fucked up looking. Like,
well, yeah, that was Jim Lee going all out.
I could tell. But I love that like Batman just starts fucking beating his ass. Like he is straight up like gonna beat this man to death.
Yeah, Batman was about to cross that line. Like he was straight up gonna kill him.
Joker's just like, stop it. Stop it.
I didn't do it. Like he's like, I swear I didn't. Like it wasn't me.
He's like, I only have the toy gun.
And then Jim Gordon shows up and he's like, stop it. I will kill you. You're better than this.
Yeah.
Batman and Jim's relationship was strained by this point. Like the previous continuity, they had been through a lot.
Yeah.
But I love how they also keep flashing back, like with that whole Joker thing. They like bring up the Joker killed Jim's wife, and then he also shot Barbara, and then he also murdered Jason Todd. They bring up Jason Todd a lot.
I was not aware of the Jason Todd thing.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. There's been a few Robins, and did you know Jason Todd was voted by DC fans to be murdered?
Really?
Yeah, they did a phone call in because Jason was so unpopular with readers that they actually did a comic run called Death in the Family, and that you could actually call in on a 900 number to vote whether you wanted him to die or not.
Huh.
And apparently somebody robocalled and hacked it because apparently it was really close. But then someone like at the last minute did like a robocall and hacked it just to kill him off.
Yeah, Jason Todd's probably the Robin that I'm the least familiar with.
Which is going to be really funny when you get to the later seasons of Batman the Animated Series where they introduced Tim. Because the Tim in the animated series is basically Jason. They just used Tim's name.
Which is weird because in the animated series canon, Tim kills the Joker.
Yeah, well that Tim is not Tim. He's literally Tim Todd or Jason Drake. Like he's a weird amalgamation of the two.
Yeah.
Because they like Jason's backstory, but Tim's a more popular character.
Fair.
Yeah,
Which,
Jason was
Tim is the current Robin in this run.
Tim is he's the current Robin in this run, and he's also Robin again currently. He shares the title with Damian now.
That's weird.
Yeah, no, it is.
Why? Okay.
They don't know what the problem is because they added Damian. They don't know what to do with Tim now, even though Tim
make him his own hero like Nightwing.
They did.
He doesn't have to be.
They tried it. It didn't work, so they just made him Robin again.
Okay.
There was at one point he was running around in a brown suit and he was going by the name Drake, and everyone hated it. It was bad. It was really bad.
When was this run?
The Drake run, that was like 2020s. It was bad.
So like post Drake the Rapper. I see.
Well, his last name's Drake. That's a perfect superhero name for yourself. Let's just use your last name.
Yeah, let's just use my actual fucking name. That makes sense, right?
It was so unpopular they got rid of that super fast and they don't acknowledge it anymore. Like it was really bad.
They could have done something completely different, you know?
So Tim had a very good thing. Well, here's the thing about Tim. He had a solo series throughout like the 90s into the 2000s, like a solo Robin comic that actually stood on its own, like next to the Batman books. Because when it comes to Batman books, there is like a stigma where a lot of Batman writers don't want to use Robin, so they won't. So like the current whoever's Robin at the time just won't appear, like ever. Yeah. At that point, though, Tim was so popular, he had his own ongoing book. So like when Batman was doing whatever the fuck, Tim could go have his own book over there in the corner and be fine.
Yeah.
After Damian became Robin, Tim had changed his name to Red Robin for a while. Which was a really good book right towards the end of this continuity before the New 52 happened. The biggest problem was, though, the suit was kind of goofy and everyone made the joke saying it's Red Robin, yum.
They should have just gone with because this is Tim Drake, right? So it's like, obviously it's a different continuity because the animated series is its own thing, but like this is the same Robin that ultimately kills the Joker, right? And goes through all that trauma and everything else. Albatross. That would have been a great, stick with the bird theme, right? Albatrosses are known for sailors of bringing bad luck.
The only problem with that, though, is like that characterization doesn't work with this version of Tim.
I'm just saying. They could have just stuck with the bird theme, Nightwing, Robin. Just make it a different bird. Like, why get it? I don't know.
Well, Red Robin was fine. Like, I like that book. The New 52 happened and kind of fucked everything up. Now he's Robin again, though. Just whatever. Whichever writer.
I don't know how I feel about there being two Robins at the same time, but
see, it's fun. It's whoever's currently writing Batman, they can just pick which one they want to do because some don't like Damian and some prefer Tim. That's kind of how Tim became Robin again recently. The writer at the time was like, I like Tim more, so I'm just going to use Tim instead. And it was just like, all right, he's Robin again.
And also they go out of their way to kill off Jason Todd because like of his personality. And I don't know much about the comic version, but like isn't it like a thing where he's kind of like a punk kid?
the whole thing with Jason Todd was he was so Dick was a natural, like he was basically a natural hero. Like he had all the skills and stuff, and he just went through that traumatic thing, and he was basically destined to be a hero. Jason was a troubled youth that Batman thought he could save, but Jason was never able to get away from the. Jason had issues, basically. That was kind of the thing. Like he was always kind of.
Well, where I was going with that is that, like, is it Damian kind of just like Jason Todd 2.0 in a lot of ways? Like, obviously, he's got the whole League of Assassins connection and everything, but like, and obviously he's Batman's son, but like, personality wise and like his like general outlook, I feel like it's not that different.
So Jason wasn't like a killer initially. Jason's personality is more confusing. Jason was very poorly handled in his time as Robin, because he was dead for a long time. He's back, by the way, just in case you wondered.
Well, yeah, we saw him right here.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that, because there is a bit of stuff to talk about there, but
which would have been a way better ending than what we got, but we'll continue on.
But yeah. So getting into the whole Robin thing, Jason was considered he was considered Batman's biggest failure of all time. Like to the point where he put the thing up in the Batcave. Like he always has the memory. And he actually was during that point in the comics. He was the comic book run that followed that is a very interesting one. It's called A Lonely Place of Dying. Which was the introduction of Tim, where basically Batman is without a Robin. He is so unhinged and ungrounded that this kid named Tim Drake basically is a really smart kid, and he ended up actually figuring out Batman's identity on his own and like all this stuff. And he basically was such a fan that he wanted to save Batman because he knew he was spiraling out of control. And he basically first he tries to get Dick to be Robin again, which Dick is like, fuck that. That sucks. But then he eventually ends up putting the suit on himself, and Batman's like, no more Robins. I'm not doing this anymore. But Tim eventually convinces him, and then basically Batman, like, Tim was written essentially to fix all the problems with Jason, where he's like, he wanted to be Robin, so and he was like his own smarter Robin. Like, Tim's arguably the smartest of the four. When they feel like remembering that characterization. And that was like kind of the whole thing. Like Dick was destined to be a hero. Jason, he thought he could make a hero. Tim wanted to be a hero, and that's why Tim was a perfect Robin. So that's your little Robin history lesson.
Fair enough.
A very abridged Robin history lesson.
I'm sure I'll read more about it as I go along and get more books, but
yeah. So where were we? We were talking about
Gordon had stopped him from killing the Joker.
Yes. And we also then get this reveal where it's because we've been seeing this guy who we don't know is named Hush yet, but he's Hush.
The bandage dude. Well, there's actually like 3 different bandage dudes that look exactly the same while they're bandaged up.
That's all part of Hush's grand scheme to make this a mystery.
Because at first the bandage dude was revealed to be Harvey Dent.
Two-Face, but he's no longer Two-Face. And he apparently shot Tommy Elliott. Perhaps he's the actual shooter.
But he's also not Tommy Elliott.
We'll get there. So we end up getting to there's actually this really interesting scene that I really like where, well, before that too, we also had this whole thing where Dick came back and he was hanging out with Bruce, basically doing a mission with him. And the whole time he's all like, hey man, like, you know, like if you're interested in going after Catwoman, I'm all for it, man. Like you should do that. Like totally. Like he was just like egging him on.
He's just like, get it, bro.
And Batman's like, quiet you. Don't you have enough romance issues in your own life?
So this Dick, this is the same Dick that's that has like a thing with Starfire, right?
He did at the time. They were broken up by this point. Dick has had a thing with Barbara Gordon, Starfire, Random Girl of the Week #1, Random Girl of the Week #2. He's had a lot, basically, over the years. He's currently with Barbara.
We don't call him Dick for nothing.
Yeah. Even though he's got more of an ass than anything. Like, holy shit, man. Like, the artists really love to draw Dick's butt.
They'd like to draw lots of butts. Let's be real.
Yeah, but this isn't even that's a Jim Lee thing. But whenever Dick Grayson appears in anything like Nightwing, it's like, holy shit, guys. Like, we get it. He's got cake.
Calm down.
But yeah, eventually, like, Batman finally decides, all right, I have to tell Selina. And we get this really cool panel structure that I really liked where it's like split down the middle. And it's like in one corner, it's Bruce talking to Selina. And then the other, it's Harvey visiting the Joker in Arkham. And
Yeah.
they do this like simultaneous reveal thing. And it's like, that's just a cool like page layout.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's the point where we find out Two-Face. Well, we find out Hush is Two-Face, perhaps. Well, if the flipping coin earlier didn't give it away.
Yeah.
But Bruce then reveals to Selina, and she takes it very well, even though he like punched the shit out of her earlier in the alley.
Yeah, she's just like, oh.
But then like now Batman's like fully on trying to figure out who Hush is, because now it's like a whole mystery. And he eventually does reveal too. He's like, the Joker did not kill Tommy, so now he's technically off the list. But I need to figure out more. And then Tim shows up in the Batcave and attacks Catwoman, and it's like the most like catty bullshit fight ever.
Yeah, it was so like cartoonishly, like, I don't trust her, blah blah blah. That I was like, this is weird. And then at the end when she takes off, and he's just like, hey,
She totally bought it, right?
Performance, right?
Yeah.
That's okay. He was putting on airs. I see.
That is the Tim Drake everybody loves, because he is very smart and he's also a jokester. Because like that's like his characterization. He does shit like that. He's basically Batman Jr. in a lot of ways.
And I love like the Batman like voiceover, like whatever at the at that part. It's just like, of course I told Tim all about it because I didn't want him to, if for no other reason, I didn't want him to hear it from Dick. It's like I wanted to tell him myself.
Yeah, because Dick would have told him, because those two are like brothers.
Yeah.
But actually they canonically are now, because they were all adopted by. Tim was not adopted by Batman at this point. Tim actually had a family. Like that line where he's like, he's not my father. Like that was actually a real thing, because Tim's dad was still alive by this point. But that's besides it. We'll talk about Identity Crisis at some point in the future, because that's a book worth talking about. It's a bad book, but it's worth talking about. Because it's partially responsible for like the downfall of DC in the late 2000s, 2010s.
Well, as I mentioned before, I'm probably going to be focusing specifically on the compact comics. So, like, those are probably the runs we'll talk about before anything else.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll do Identity Crisis at some point. It's a book. So I'll leave it at that. So, yeah, the whole thing continues to go on. And then what happened next?
Batman had to get Ra's al Ghul's attention, so he kidnapped Talia, quote unquote, because she was just like, yeah, I'll come, whatever.
Yeah, we find out Talia's just kind of like, so he's over there taking care of Ra's, and then he's sending actually, according to canonically, his name is actually Ra's al Ghul. That is apparently a thing, but the Ra's al Ghul, Ra's al Ghul, we can move through either or, it doesn't matter.
They do that a lot in Arrow. It's just like literally in the same conversation, one will be saying Ra's and the other will be saying Ra's. It's just like,
yeah, they don't
just decide, people, please. Like,
but yeah, so it's funny, like during that thing, he's like going after Ra's, and then Catwoman's keeping an eye on Talia, and then another assassin shows up, and it's just like, oh shit, I didn't plan for this. And Talia's like, yeah, fuck off.
yeah,
I'm not even gonna leave out of defiance. I'm just gonna chill. Just
and then the Catwoman gets her shit stomped, and Talia leaves, and then comes back with like a med kit. She's just like, yeah, I'll take care of you. Like,
no, Talia's straight up like, I'm just gonna fuck with Bruce at this point because I can.
Yeah.
Because they also, this is basically two of Bruce's two love interests, basic canonical ones here, just chilling.
Yeah, because it's very obvious that at this point, like, there was obviously something between Talia and Bruce at this point.
I'm pretty sure canonically Damien exists at this point. We just don't know about him yet.
Okay. That would
I'm pretty
make sense.
sure that's happened off screen at this point.
Mhm.
But besides that, let's see what else was. Oh yeah, so another thing too is that when he's talking to Raish, we find out that somebody apparently like screwed with one of his Lazarus pits.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like leaving the implication, oh, somebody's been resurrected, but who?
I wonder if it was the dead person who was mentioned multiple times up to this point.
I wonder. We'll have to
Because
find out.
as soon as the Lazarus pit got brought up, I was like, "Oh, Jason Todd." It's Jason Todd.
Perhaps, but we'll see. Yeah, so we go through that, and then meanwhile, like during this is the encounter where Tim gets kidnapped, right? Or was it around here?
Did Tim get kidnapped?
I forget when that happens.
Well, no, because yeah, Batman had his whole thing where he had the duel with Ra's al Ghul, and then he was like, "Oh, the Lazarus pit got messed with," and yeah, then I think he goes back, and there's the whole encounter between Hush having, with holding the Pretender hostage.
I know what happened before that, but before that, they go off on this. Huntress is going insane. Basically, that's what happens next.
Yeah, because she's also being mind controlled or something.
I think she's being affected by Scarecrow's fear toxin because Scarecrow shows up, by the way.
Right. Yeah, was briefly there for some reason.
And when Catwoman and Bruce and all them are trying to sort out this mess, because Helena's having a moment, basically, Hush sneaks up on Tim and kidnaps him. Or at least we think it's Hush. So at this point, Hush has been revealed as Two-Face, and then there's this other guy here now. But yeah, eventually it's after he basically tells Scarecrow to fuck off, because we've had like every Batman villain show up, and some of them do more than others at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Because also the Riddler has been here too, kind of.
Yeah, he robbed a bank.
He did stuff. But yeah,
he won't be important.
Eventually, we do find Hush with Tim, and he takes off the mask, and it's, oh, surprise, it's Jason Todd? Question mark?
But he's like middle-aged.
Yeah, he's older now. Because his body is
a Robin suit, though.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's funny because it's Hush's suit, but with the Robin emblem, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And Tim had never met Jason at this point, which is funny because they will fight again in the future, and it's dumb, but he really does the whole like, how could you let me die like thing.
Yeah. It's like, I just wanted to be loved.
But then we find out really fast that he basically kind of reveals that like this is a little too convenient, and he's like, why would a corpse just age? Because the Lazarus pit doesn't do that. And also, like, you kind of look like Jason, but you also look like. Also, he realizes too, he never hears him refer to himself as Jason, which immediately is kind of a thing there.
And also, apparently, it was a thing that Jason almost exclusively called him Bruce, and that he just called him Batman the whole time.
Yeah, there was that, and then also
his fighting style was Dick's fighting style.
It was like a mixture. It was like Dick and like a little bit of Tim, but mostly Dick.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's like, so this person has no idea who the Robin was in question, and just kind of mixed everything together as, oh shit. I gotta call real quick. I'm gonna take this. Sorry about that. Had a thing happened. Anyways, we were talking about Jason and the whole like nothing adds up there. It's very fishy.
Yes.
And because of that, it's kind of a case of Batman's basically like, you're not Jason. Like, who are you? And we find out it was a piece of Clayface.
Mm-hmm.
But they also do make a note that Jason's grave is empty. Peculiar.
So they did something to his grave. How long had he been dead up to this point?
He died 89. So for like over 10 years or so. He doesn't officially come back until like 2006. So it's still
out of universe. It had been over 10 years, but in universe,
I'd have to look. It had been a couple years by that point because Tim does grow up a bit in between.
I don't know.
Long enough. I'd have to look up. Well, the problem is continuity is a fucking mess now, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
But either way, it was like, okay, that was a red herring. Jason is not back yet.
Yeah.
Yet. Give it time.
So they take care of that whole deal, and then like Batman, like he talks to Barbara for a little bit, and then he has to go and talk to this dude Harold, who I didn't know existed.
Yeah, Harold was just like a guy that was in the Batcave for a while.
He just did tech shit, apparently.
Yeah. He disappeared for a bit and then came back just to die.
He came back and was like, hey, I can talk now. Blam, dead.
Yeah, because he was kind of like deformed and like just like he was like a hunchback that just kind of lived in the cave. It was weird. Like it was just a thing for a while there. Yeah, and he gets straight up just offed, and it's revealed to be Hush again.
It's another Hush.
Except this time we then find out that Hush is apparently Tommy Elliott.
But does he even take the bandages off?
No, but he basically just flat out reveals, like, I'm Tommy Elliott because I know all of this stuff. And I'm just going to yell and scream and be like, I hated my parents and wanted them to die. Why did your dad save them? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, because it was revealed that, like, the car crash that killed his dad and, like, would have killed his mom, but Bruce's dad saved her because he was a brilliant surgeon. And he was mad that his mom lived, even though he treasures her ring. And then he had to wait for his mom to die for, like, his inheritance or something. It was fucking weird. Even though by this point, he's literally the world's greatest surgeon. So, like, why do you even need it? You know? You're like, it seems like everything worked out just fine for you, dude. Why are you so mad?
This book is one of those books where, like, the overall story is interesting. The main villain is terrible.
Yeah.
Like, it's basically, most people agree Hush is a terrible villain.
And as I mentioned earlier, like, the Jason Todd fake out would have been a way more satisfying, like, conclusion.
Oh, especially when you figure out how they actually brought him back.
And, like, even the Tommy Elliott thing would have been more effective than just psych. It's the Riddler. The Riddler did it.
Oh, it's really funny you bring that up.
Yeah.
Remember how I said the movie changed things up and it was a really stupid like reveal?
Yeah.
The Riddler's Hush in the movie version.
Oh, it's just the Riddler.
Yeah, the Riddler did it all. It's the most like Tommy Elliott just dies in that movie and he's just completely gone at that point. It's like, surprise, the Riddler did the whole thing. And it was like,
Jesus Christ. I mean, he did though. Like even in the comic, it was him all along. He just
he was the chess master. But in the movie, it was like, surprise, no, it was me all along. And I'm like,
and the Riddler never really seemed like that effective a villain for me to really have this big like puppet master role.
There was a period towards the end of this continuity before the New 52 where Riddler was actually reformed and he was like a detective working with Gotham PD.
It's so weird.
It was more interesting than what they were doing with him here. That's for sure.
Fair.
But yeah, Hush just kind of goes away and then like...
Yeah, he falls off a bridge.
Yeah, and he'll be back at some point.
I'm sure he will be. I mean, they didn't find a body, so...
But he's talking. Eventually, Bruce is just talking to is talking to Clark in the cave, and he's like, look at the surgery on my brain. Do you see anything? And he's like, yeah, there's like a little like thing at the base of your brain. Like, want me to like, you should probably do something. But he's like, burn it. And he's like, that could hurt you. He's like, do it. Just kill it.
Just do it anyway.
Like, all right.
What was it again?
It was like some sort of little, I think it was like a way they were tracking him.
Tracking device? Yeah, that makes sense.
But then we also find out that Tommy Elliott was put like a weird like thing in the Batman computer that was like subliminal,
giving him like subliminal messages or whatever.
Yeah, that's why he wanted Tommy Elliott to do this. It was such a weird like contrivance.
Yeah, it was bizarre. The end point, like the journey along the way was like really fun and interesting. And then like that last chapter was just like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, the whole payoff of this story, that's the reason why Hush is such a controversial story, is the fact that like throughout its thing, like its build up is really good. Like the whole like the deep like introspective look at the at the characters and like everything, and it's like, this is interesting, I kind of like this. And then it's like the end, you're like, oh, that's it.
Yeah,
what was the point of all this? And then to reset status quo, of course, Bruce and Selina have a falling out, and then she leaves, and then it's right back to where he was before. Only now Selina knows who he is, but it's not important.
It's about right.
And it just kind of ends. That was Hush. And they'll revisit it many times, including a sequel that no one asked for. that isn't the original sequel. That isn't one of the three others.
I mean, all told, I still enjoyed my way, like my run through it. It was still like a fun like first foray into Batman comics. Especially since I did get like, you know, as I mentioned before, I get like a little bit of like all the big Batman villains. And even a few cameos with like Superman and everything, but like
President Luthor shows up for like a few minutes.
Yeah, we got the flashback of Bruce seeing the Green Lantern and when he was a child and everything.
Oh yeah,
so, like,
Alan Scott shows up for like 3 minutes.
So like, you know, it was a fun run. I do wish the conclusion had been a little bit more worthwhile. But
makes sense.
All told, it was still. I didn't regret reading it. I'll say that much.
No, it is a good book. It just has a very unsatisfying conclusion.
I'm used to that from books, though, so it's not that big a deal.
Yeah. It's. I think it also has to do with the fact that this is just a book that you mostly read for the art and then the somewhat compelling plot.
Mm-hmm.
Because you did get to see a whole lot. Honestly, the reason why most of the villains probably appear is because they were like, we want to see Jim Lee draw all these characters.
Mm.
And he sure did.
Yeah.
But was the adventure worth it? Probably not. But that's fine. It was a fun ride, at least up till then.
I'm still happy with my choice, though.
No, it's a really good Batman story. It just, that ending is a little rough. Yeah. So Batman Hush. It came out over 20 years ago.
If you're interested, the compact comic is $10.
The compact comic is, and then you could also find, this is very heavily reprinted. You can easily find the actual book like at most stores. I think it's been reprinted recently as well in the normal size. So there's that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was our first comic book foray. Hopefully in the future we'll cover some more interesting stories down the line.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I think other than that though, this is a good enough time to wrap up. Anyways, guys, once again, thank you for joining us on Geek Addicts. You can find Geek Addicts on all the major podcasting platforms, particularly Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you know, all that fun shit. You can also find us on the Superpod Network, superpodnetwork.com. Awesome site. A whole bunch of different videos, podcasts, blogs, all sorts of awesome creators over there. Yeah, be sure to check them out. And until next time, guys, thank you for listening, and we will see you all later.
Have a good one.